Some water.
Yes, please. Can I get some water?
Bueno. Those are water.
I'll start talking. Gym. How hard is it letting your hair down now when you're close to a fight? We're having a laugh and a crack, but you were training before.
Yeah.
How hard is it when there's such a big fight in a few weeks?
I go into the zone for when I'm in fight camp. It's an 8-week camp usually. I'm always training. I'm always, when I'm not fighting, even when I don't have a fight coming up, I'm always at the gym. I'm always training. It's my job, just like anybody else. Obviously, just the 8 weeks out when you have a fight signed.
Yeah.
Intensity picks up. There's a task at hand and a priority. But for me, the most important part about that is, the mind shift that I'm making from training the mindset from being a human and a normal human being in society, a guy with family and friends, just like everybody else, to being a guy who's willing to give up his life and take one. There is no time for hobbies. The best to get out of me is maybe an hour or two a week of playing some PlayStation.
Tell me a little bit about the gym, because I imagine since you've come to the fore, I know there's a few other South African fighters, but you're kind of flying the flag, right? You're the Springbok of the UFC, of the MMA world here in South Africa. Has it just grown and grown as your profile and as
yes, absolutely. I think
gone through the roof?
For us, we started with the gym maybe half this size downstairs. It was still 6 years ago, and then I opened up this place, a singular building. And as amateurs, because we have from 5-year-old kids all the way to professionals here. And we opened up the boxing gym next door and the jiu-jitsu gym, and next to that, we are passionate people when it comes to sport in South Africa. And now that we have somebody that we can root for at the top of the pile, everybody just takes more notice. It was unheard of making it this far from South Africa. You can be a South African and just go live in America and train there and live your whole life here. That's basically was the only way to do it. And ever since myself and Cameron got to the UFC, I'm fighting for a world title now. And this is my gym. I train here, I live here. This is the first gym that I trained in when I was 18 years old, and it's still my same coaches, same gym. So now so many more people in South Africa realize they don't have to go abroad to get to the top of the path, to get to the highest level in the world.
Yeah, class. Well, let's get showered up and
let's do it.
Let's take it to the streets, eh?
Yeah.
Let's take this chat to the streets.
If this was the streets, you probably would have had me, right?
Yeah, of course.
Because I'm a knife.
Because I'm a striker. That's what. Anyway, with any potential or not, be honest. I've just turned 41. Now, did you feel anything at all?
100%.
Be honest.
I felt this.
Should I tapped earlier or not? Did you think?
No, that was a good tap, especially with the guillotine. That was deep.
Okay.
I was surprised how long you.
There you go. So you were surprised.
I was 100% surprised.
Yeah. There you go.
That was good.
I didn't tap too early. Well, Dricus du Plessis, we had an icebreaker earlier, so I feel more comfortable and less nervous now walking and talking in your home place of Pretoria. How did I do earlier?
Oh, great! You did great. I mean, that's most of my friends I made in school, still friends today. We had a good old fist fight somewhere in school, and then you earn that respect. Or that's how you settle your problems. I mean, and that like you said, icebreaker. Here we are now.
There was no problems. It was just I was there. You got the gloves out, and I thought, well, where are the mitts? There's 2 sets of gloves, but it's the most alive I've felt in a long time, so thank you very much.
No, only a pleasure, man.
We tried to get you the World Cup. You were there, you were enjoying the final. I know you're a big Springbok fan, and we will get into that, but we missed you at the final. You were enjoying the celebrations too much. What happened?
Yeah, well, I was honest. What I was told by my assistant was that we are doing an interview before the game.
Pitch side?
Yeah, well, and I was pacing myself the whole game day because it's the World Cup final. For the interview, and when I got there, I was like, you guys know where I sit. She said, right, girls are probably coming to get me. When that game started, I said, well, interview or not, if it's after the game, this is going to be a very interesting interview. But then the party started, just the way that me and every South African watches rugby. Beer, rugby, screaming, and celebrating.
Yeah, but the World Cup final, you look like you absolutely loved it, and that's what I want to get into. The way that other athletes and other sports people, men and women around South Africa, come out for their own. But firstly, you a big rugby fan? Always have been, I imagine, sir?
Always have been. Always been a big rugby guy, and massive respect for the professional rugby guys. I mean, those guys, I know quite a few of them. I've trained with them at my gym. Some of them came for some wrestling exercises. Great for the rugby. And it's just, I mean, if you look at the Springbok guys, I went to go see them off at the airport before the World Cup. these guys, it looks, I mean, look at this. I mean, if you stand next to a guy like Dricus Neyman, Peter Steff or Ewan, these guys are massive. It doesn't even look real. It looks Photoshopped when I'm standing next to them. To go out there for away from family for that long of a period of time, it's admirable. I mean, the pressure that was on those guys. And of course, you know, being a big Springbok supporter, winning a World Cup back to back, it's incredible.
Yeah, it's class to hear someone that is in the field that you're in and this sports and entertainment industry say that you've rocked up at the airport to say goodbye, like almost like a super fan. But that is the special relationship that you have in this country, don't you, for other athletes and other sports?
Yeah, 100%. I think it's a mutual respect, and as a country, as South Africans, we are very, very passionate when it comes to sport, any sport. You know, and we are. Make no mistakes. When the teams don't perform, South Africans get angry. That's a fact. But you know, at the end of the day, we'll always be watching and supporting our guys. I mean, for us, that a World Cup, a Rugby World Cup, is a massive. You know, and me fighting for a world title, it's massive. The whole country is like it's almost a build-up like a World Cup final for me, and the whole country is just getting behind me. So, and like I said, I'm a super fan of the Springboks, but they've also been extremely, extremely good to me in terms of showing their love and support to me. You know, making me a flag bearer for the Springboks. It was a massive honor for me, and I'm a Springbok, just in a different sport.
But you're the Springbok of the UFC, and the size of the sport in South Africa has grown because of you. I know there's a couple of you fighters from South Africa there. How's that been?
Yeah, it's been amazing. You know, I like to think of myself as a Springbok and carrying the flag in the UFC and representing my country. But yeah, like you said, the sport's grown tremendously because just the fact that people are exposed to it now. We have a horse to root for. So for me, it's incredible. I mean, for me, it's a dream come true. I'm living my dream of being a professional mixed martial artist and ultimately becoming a world champion.
Yeah, the pressure. Okay, when you're in a team environment like I've been in, you've got your mates around you and all that. I love the UFC, I love boxing, but the mental resilience you must have when you have all the glitz and glamour around it, but almost like it's a little bit of a kind of circus in a good way. The other sports have it, Formula One have it, you see, but as an individual, as a fighter, when all that's going on and building your brand and everything that goes with that, the Conor McGregor effect that they call it, that's important, right? How do you deal with that? Because that's not a very South African way, is it? Normally it's quite quiet, quite humble.
Yeah, the big thing is, how I see it is, you know, it's staying focused, and like you said, the mental part is the most important part of this whole thing. Is just the antics outside of it, being able to go and say, listen, this is not the fight. This is being able to make that separation, just like you would. The guy that gets into the ring is not the guy you're talking to right now. It's a different animal. And just in that exact same way, I'm a different guy when I'm sitting on stage and we're doing a press conference than I am in the ring. That doesn't affect my performance at all. I always said that you could be the nicest guy in the world or the biggest asshole in the world. I'm still going to go out there and try and take your head off. No, it's nothing personal, it's just business.
What's it like being in the UFC?
That's
like,
amazing.
as an organiser, it is amazing. Like, is it amazing? Because I know it's taken a little bit of heat around like fighter pay, and the fighters have got bigger voices and stuff like that. But from the outside, from my industry looking in, it looks like an unbelievable industry to be involved in, and a company in itself in the UFC with Dana White.
Yeah, of course the UFC has they have the, you can say monopoly. They are at the top of the pile. You know, it's a hard thing to say because they've been accused of having monopoly, but it's not a monopoly. It's just everybody in the world knows that the UFC is the industry leader. That's what I think, you know, in terms of boxing. I'm a massive boxing fan, but that's why boxing has taken such a fall. There's too many promotions, too many world champions, and the right guys are not fighting each other.
The best don't fight the best,
the best are not fighting the best. And if they do, it's a 10 years in the making fight. And Manny Pacquiao versus Floyd Mayweather, they both fought way out of their prime. So, you know, that's what the UFC gives. If you are the best guy, you're going to fight the next best guy. There's a ranking, and you can be any organizational champ, but everybody in the world knows the UFC champ is the world champ. He's the number one in the world, and I think that's a great place to be if you're an organization, and for me to be in the UFC. Because let's be honest, every single belt world title that I've had has been to get into the UFC.